Now, I know what a lot of you out there are asking. What in the hell is going on with CM Punk? Well, I'm going to do my best to answer that. He posted something kind of crazy on Instagram yesterday. He then took it down. There was all this talk about CM Punk being ready, CM Punk wanting to come back, and now all of that seems to be a bunch of hoopla. So, what's going on? Why is this happening? What's going to happen? I'm going to try to answer those to the best of my ability. I'm Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So let's talk about the biggest elephant in the room right now. That being CM Punk. In fact, the dude's been the biggest elephant in the room since September 2022. You could argue August 2021 when he made his return to professional wrestling at the First Dance. But this past week, or just yesterday, I should say, we were talking about CM Punk possibly coming back. Dave Meltzer had this report that, it looks like CM Punk wants to get back. I believe he said on the Wrestling Observer radio show that CM Punk did want to come back, and those are the indications that he was getting. But it looks like CM Punk, in the only way CM Punk can, was able to stir up some drama to refute those allegations and throw a few more allegations at AEW, Tony Khan, and everyone else involved in this mess. So let's go to the Instagram post real quick. So here it is. Punk starts off by saying, sigh. Had to get a little sigh there. It says, sigh. I wasn't cleared to come back to wrestle yet. Then the plan was to wrestle at the pay-per-view. I sat and listened to Moxley's Rocky 3 idea. I explained how I'd never seen a Rocky movie. That's probably one of the biggest surprises of all of this. And I thought that the idea sucked. But if the boss wanted to do it, whatever. He said he wouldn't lose to me. I'd never experienced someone refusing to lose to me. I just laughed. I asked Tony if this was what he wanted. He said yes. He's the boss, so I said okay, but I'd need to be cleared first. They kept saying it could just be a squash match, so I didn't need to be cleared. I scoffed at that. My health is more important. Dave Meltzer is a liar. Jericho is a liar and a stooge. There were plans, but the plans always changed. But I'll never put a company above my health ever again. So there it was. CM Punk posted that last night on his Instagram. He then took it down and deleted it. However, of course, in the age of the internet, nothing is ever permanently deleted. Thank you to those wrestling internet sleuths who were able to screen grab that for the entire world to see. And now we sit here kind of pondering everything that he talked about in that Instagram story pipe bomb, because he mentioned a few things. First of all, he pushed back at the idea that he actually wanted to do that squash match with Jon Moxley just a few weeks before All Out. He said he didn't see Rocky 3, which is insane. He's apparently never seen a Rocky movie. This is like a thing about CM Punk that I just found out. The dude's never seen Rocky, and I'm like, dude, how have you never seen Rocky? It's like even the first one. So watch the first one, you get the vibe. The rest of them, but anyway, never seen a Rocky movie. Didn't get the program. Didn't get why that feud may have worked. But that wasn't the only thing. I think, like, we talked about he talked about, Moxley, and Moxley and I wanted to put him over, which is weird considering Moxley did put him over at the pay-per-view. And you could argue that what he was trying to do, what they were trying to do in AEW, actually was a cool thing, because they were trying to make CM Punk to be the biggest babyface in the world, and the babyface has to go through trials and tribulations, and they were able to, at that point at least, succeed in that, in my opinion. However, Punk seems to disagree. Okay, that's booking, that's whatever. Okay. The biggest thing there, though, I think, is Punk accusing AEW of making him work when he wasn't cleared. That is big, because that calls into question AEW's medical staff. That calls into question Tony Khan's willingness to protect his talent from injury. That calls into question a lot of things. And the more we talk about the CM Punk thing, right? I've always said the more we talk about it, the more I feel like eventually he's going to come back. This makes me really question all of that. I know I've been critical about, or I've been saying that CM Punk is probably going to come back to AEW at some point. I know I've been saying that it's likely that he'll come back at this point, given all of this, given what he said. Like, this is serious. And I don't think that Tony Khan would. I mean, the guy loves to shoot promos, like that's obvious. But I don't think that he would put all of this out there, and I don't think he would let CM Punk undermine or undermine the integrity of the AEW medical staff, because that's a very serious thing, right? And that's one of the few things that Tony Khan has been very like honest and very transparent about. He doesn't want to have storylines. He doesn't want people to think that his company is unsafe because of all the questions about the safety of professional wrestling, concussions, all that stuff. You don't want that as a professional wrestling promoter. And I don't think Tony Khan would want that, which makes me think that, man, this is probably a legitimate gripe from CM Punk over here. So, all that being said, this, like, again, for me right now, beforehand, I was like 90% CM Punk's going to be back. Now I'm like 50-50 because I don't know. And that's the big thing about this whole brawl out thing, right? There are people who said that it was a work from the beginning. There are people who said, well, it was a shoot. Now it's going to become a work. And this is part of this shoot becoming a work. And at this point, I'm like, I have gone back and forth about this. I'm like, it was a shoot, which became a work, which then became a shoot because CM Punk got mad again. And then, like, I don't know what it is. The work, shoot, work. I don't know. But I do think these allegations that Punk is levying are very serious. And unless this is part of a storyline, in which case, Tony Khan, I do kind of question using that, because you don't need that, right? You don't need to question your own company's medical staff and process behind that in order to sell this program. Like, CM Punk's return sells itself, especially after Brawl Out. But if that's what it is, then that's what it is. But I'm like very much of the opinion that like now this is like very serious, and we had heard about like legal shenanigans, legal things happening behind the scenes, and I think this probably might be part of it. Because remember, one of the biggest things that Punk was involved in when he left or WWE was one of his biggest gripes, I should say, was the fact that he felt like the WWE medical staff did not take care of him and put him in a position where he had to jeopardize his health, and he did jeopardize his health. And that was part of that big lawsuit that led somehow the Colt Cabana thing happening, obviously. So it's this weird full circle moment of, if the AEW did force him to go out and wrestle, and he did feel like he was compromising his body, that's a whole different story. That goes beyond wrestling, that goes beyond work, that goes beyond all of it. That's serious, and in that case, don't expect him to be back. It's a wild time in professional wrestling, to say the least. I'll say that much, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Is CM Punk going to come back eventually? Is this all part of an elaborate work, shoot, work, shoot, work, shoot? I don't know where we are at this point. Is it all part of whatever the hell that is, or is it something more serious? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released.